You've been listening to everyone else's opinions. You've been catering to their needs, their desires, and their expectations. How's that working out for you? Now it's time to focus on yourself. If you want to become mentally stronger and break free from the chains holding you back, this is your wake-up call. No more distractions. It's time to take control. You want success? Mental strength is the foundation for everything you'll ever achieve. If you don't have the mental fortitude to push through when it gets tough, you'll never make it. It's time to shift your focus. Stop pouring your energy into others' opinions and start investing in your own growth. Let's talk about how to get mentally stronger right now. It all begins in your mind. Your mind is where everything starts. It's the most powerful tool you've been given, but the most dangerous if you don't harness it properly. Every battle you face, whether it's personal, professional, or emotional, is won or lost right here inside your mind. You've been conditioned to think that success comes from outside forces, your environment, your relationships, your opportunities. But the truth is, the foundation of your success is in your mental strength. That's where everything begins. You've been told to work hard, to hustle, to grind. But what they don't tell you is that none of that matters if your mind isn't aligned with the greatness you're seeking. If your mind is weak, your actions will follow suit. You'll stumble, hesitate, second-guess yourself, and ultimately never reach your full potential. But if you learn to control your thoughts, if you learn to focus your mind on the goals you want to achieve, then you will create a path for success that no one can take from you. Stop doubting yourself. Stop letting negative thoughts dictate your actions. Every time you allow doubt to creep into your mind, you give it power over you. Every moment you spend wondering if you're good enough, if you're capable enough, you waste valuable energy that could be spent on taking action. Doubt is the silent killer of success. It steals your confidence, your belief in your abilities, and your motivation to push forward. But you have the power to stop it. You can choose what thoughts you give power to, and the more you consciously reject negativity, the more control you gain over your own life. The world doesn't owe you a thing. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success on a silver platter. You have to earn it. And it all starts with taking ownership of your thoughts. You've got to stop looking to the outside world for validation, for approval, for permission. The only permission you need is your own. The only validation that matters is the belief you have in yourself. Your mental capacity is where your true power lies. Once you realize that, everything changes. When you focus on controlling your mind, you'll find that the external world starts aligning with your inner strength. The moment you stop allowing negativity to control your thoughts, you become a force to be reckoned with. People who achieve greatness don't sit around waiting for things to happen to them. They focus on what they can control, and they invest in themselves, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. They realize that the mind is where all power comes from. If you believe you can, then you can. If you believe you can't, then you won't. Your mind will either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy, and you're the one who decides which it will be. It's time to stop letting your mind be a battlefield for defeat. Take control. Train your mind like an athlete trains their body. Build mental muscle. Make the conscious decision to shut down negativity the moment it enters your thoughts. Replace self-doubt with self-belief. When you start mastering your mind, you start mastering your life. When you master your life, success becomes inevitable. This is where the journey begins, in the power of your own mind. There's no one coming to save you. There's no hero in your life story except you. And the first step to breaking free from the shackles of mediocrity is owning up to the reality that your life is the result of your own decisions. Every setback, every success, every struggle, and every triumph is the direct result of choices you've made, consciously or unconsciously. The moment you embrace this truth, everything changes. The truth is simple. You're the one who determines where you go in life. It's not your past, it's not your upbringing, it's not the failures of others that define your future. You control your destiny through the choices you make. When you take responsibility for your life, you take control. When you stop blaming everything and everyone for your misfortune, you start becoming the architect of your own future. There's an old habit many of us have: blame. It's easy, it's convenient, it's comforting, it shifts the responsibility and allows us to remain in the comfort of our excuses. We say things like, if I had better parents, I would be further along, or if I grew up in a better environment, I could have been successful. The problem with that mindset is that it's a trap. It anchors you in a place of powerless victimhood, and when you're a victim, you're not in control. And when you're not in control, you can't take the necessary steps to break free from where you are. The fact is, there are people out there who have faced worse than you, who have endured more, and who have achieved greatness. They weren't defined by their circumstances, they were defined by the decisions they made. They decided to take responsibility for their lives. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions or the right circumstances to begin their journey to success. They made a choice, and they took responsibility for that choice. Taking responsibility means standing up and saying, I am responsible for where I am in life. My decisions have brought me to this point, and if I want a different outcome, it's up to me to change. It's an empowering realization because it means you are no longer a passenger on a ride dictated by external forces. Instead, you are the driver, steering your life wherever you want it to go. Once you accept responsibility, you stop being a passive participant in your own life. You no longer wait for someone or something to change before you can take action. You realize that you have the power to shape your future, regardless of the challenges in your way. It's about being accountable for every area of your life: your finances, your relationships, your career, and your health. It's about acknowledging that every decision you make, whether big or small, has consequences, and you are the one who must face them. The power of responsibility is not in blaming yourself for your past mistakes, but in using those mistakes as stepping stones for growth. It's about accepting that failure is not an end, but a lesson that gives you the strength to do better, to be better. You are not defined by your mistakes unless you choose to stay stuck in them. The moment you own your life, you break free from the chains of excuses and start to elevate yourself to a level you've never imagined. When you stop blaming the world, you stop wasting time. You stop wasting your precious energy on things you can't control and start focusing on what you can control: your actions, your mindset, your growth. It's not easy, but it's essential. Life is about ownership. Once you take full responsibility for everything in your life, you unlock a level of mental strength that cannot be taken from you. You rise above mediocrity because you realize that where you are is just a temporary stop on your journey, and where you're going is in your hands. You've been conditioned to look for approval everywhere, whether it's from family, friends, colleagues, or society. We've all been there. Seeking validation is almost like a survival mechanism. It gives us a sense of reassurance, of belonging. But let me make one thing clear. You don't need anyone's approval to be successful. You don't need to wait for someone to tell you that you're doing the right thing or that you're on the right path. Success doesn't require external validation. It never has. Most people waste their energy seeking validation because they're afraid. They're afraid of rejection, afraid of failure. But here's the truth. Your success is not contingent on anyone else's opinion. The moment you stop seeking approval from others is the moment you step into your power. You stop being dependent on what others think, and you start owning your own truth. The truth is, you have a vision, a mission, and a purpose. That's all that matters. When you're mentally strong, you understand that the only validation you need is from within. You don't wait for a stamp of approval to move forward because you know where you're going and you believe in yourself enough to get there. Those who are constantly seeking validation are held back by doubt and fear. They're looking for reassurance because they don't trust themselves. But here's the thing. Trust yourself. When you stop looking outward for confirmation, that's when you truly unlock your potential. This doesn't mean you become a loner or completely disregard others' opinions. What it means is that you stop letting their opinions dictate your actions. Let's get something straight. Most people will never understand your journey. They won't see your vision and they will question your decisions. That's okay, because this isn't their life. It's yours. and it's your responsibility to forge your own path, regardless of whether they approve. Seeking validation only keeps you stuck in a cycle of dependency. You become reliant on others to feel good about yourself, to make decisions, and to move forward. But mentally strong individuals don't need that. They trust their judgment, they make bold decisions, and they are unapologetic in their pursuit of their goals. They don't wait for the green light from anyone. They know they're the ones responsible for their success or failure, and they own that responsibility. If you want to move forward in life, you need to accept that not everyone will understand or support what you're doing, and that's okay. In fact, it's necessary, because the path to success is often a lonely one, but it's also the most rewarding. When you stop seeking approval, you start to create a life that aligns with your true desires, not the desires of those around you. It's time to break free from the chains of validation-seeking behavior. It's time to silence the voices that tell you what you can or can't do. Your journey is yours, and it's time to take ownership of it. If you truly believe in your mission, there's no room for doubt. The only voice you need to listen to is your own. When you stop seeking validation, you start walking in your power. And that's when you start making massive progress. Resilience is not something you're born with. It's forged in the fires of adversity. Every challenge, every hardship, every setback is an opportunity to become stronger. When life throws obstacles your way, you can either be defeated or rise above them. It's not about avoiding difficulty. It's about how you respond to it. The strongest people you know didn't get that way by avoiding pain. They built their strength by facing their fears, their doubts, and their struggles head on. They didn't fold when the pressure increased. Instead, they learned to thrive in it. Think about the hardest moments in your life, the ones that almost broke you, the moments when you thought you couldn't go on. Those moments are the very ones that made you who you are today. If you've ever faced a major challenge and survived, then you've already proven that you have resilience within you. You may not have felt strong at the time, but the fact that you're still here proves that you have the capacity to overcome. You may have stumbled, you may have doubted yourself, but you didn't quit. And that is where your true strength lies, your refusal to give up. Resilience is a muscle. And like any muscle, it gets stronger the more you use it. You can't expect to develop mental toughness by staying in your comfort zone. Comfort doesn't build strength, it builds complacency. Growth only happens when you push yourself beyond your limits, when you step into the unknown, when you embrace the discomfort. That's where the magic happens. Resilience is not about getting through life unscathed. It's about learning how to handle life's blows without being broken by them. It's about getting knocked down and then getting back up, stronger and more determined than before. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to expand your mental and emotional capacity. The struggle isn't a roadblock, it's the path. Think about it. When you face adversity, you learn something about yourself. You learn what you're capable of, how much further you can go, and what kind of person you're becoming in the process. You start to realize that the things that once seemed impossible are now within reach. Resilience turns setbacks into stepping stones, failures into lessons, and pain into power. The discomfort you feel in tough times is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you're evolving. When you feel overwhelmed, that's the moment to dig deeper. That's when you have the chance to discover just how mentally strong you really are. The moments of struggle force you to confront your weaknesses, and that's when growth happens. Without challenges, you wouldn't know what you're made of. Without failure, you wouldn't understand the power of perseverance. The truth is, the more you embrace challenges, the more resilient you become. You start to see obstacles not as threats, but as opportunities to grow. You become someone who doesn't just survive, but thrives, no matter what life throws your way. Remember, life is going to test you. It's not a matter of if, but when. And when those tough times come, you must make a choice. You can either let them break you, or you can use them as fuel to become stronger than ever. There's power in your struggle. Every time you push through, you emerge better, sharper, more resilient. Embrace the discomfort, face the challenges, and use them to build the unbreakable strength you were always meant to have. Discipline isn't just a nice to have, it's a non-negotiable foundation for success. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers, the successful from the average. You see, dreams are easy to have. They're free, they don't require any sacrifice, and they can be built on wishful thinking. But turning those dreams into reality, that's where discipline steps in. It's about more than just making a to-do list or sticking to a routine. It's about creating a mindset that drives you to act even when you don't feel like it. Here's the truth, motivation will not always be there when you need it. It's fleeting, it's temporary, and it's unreliable. You might wake up one day motivated and ready to conquer the world, but on other days that drive might not show up at all. And that's when most people give up. They wait for motivation to hit them, and when it doesn't, they throw in the towel. But the people who rise above, the people who make it, they don't wait for motivation. They act in spite of it. That's the power of discipline. Discipline is doing what you need to do regardless of how you feel. It's the ability to show up, to push through resistance, and to maintain consistency even when the excitement is faded. It's the difference between talking about what you want and taking deliberate, intentional steps every single day to get there. The truth is, success isn't built on moments of motivation. It's built on hours of consistent effort when no one is watching, when things are tough, and when you'd rather quit. But here's the kicker. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you develop. It's like a muscle, and the more you work it, the stronger it becomes. It starts with small actions, doing what you said you would do, even when it's uncomfortable. Over time, these small victories build up, and you become someone who follows through, no matter what. It's about creating habits that support your goals and committing to them relentlessly, no matter how you feel. In the beginning, this process might feel like a struggle. Your mind will fight against you, telling you that you deserve a break, that it's too hard, that you're not making progress. But mentally strong people know that this is part of the journey. They know that resistance is a signal that growth is happening. They embrace the discomfort because they know that this is where they separate themselves from the pack. They understand that every moment of discipline, every time they push through the temptation to quit, they are reinforcing the mindset that will get them to the top. Discipline is also about prioritizing what matters most. You'll be faced with distractions, temptations, and opportunities to waste time. But if you want to get mentally stronger, you need to start saying no to things that don't align with your vision. You can't afford to give in to short-term pleasures that only delay your long-term success. Discipline means learning to focus your energy on what moves the needle. It's about saying no to the things that don't serve your growth and saying yes to the grind, the hard work, the consistent effort, the sacrifices that will pay off in the end. The key to unstoppable discipline is the willingness to push through the moments when it feels impossible. It's the commitment to showing up every day, even when the rewards aren't immediate, even when the journey feels long and grueling. It's about staying true to the promise you made to yourself. When you develop this level of discipline, nothing will be able to stop you. You'll learn how to stay in the game, even when others have quit. You'll build the kind of mental toughness that will carry you through the toughest challenges. So, cultivate your discipline now, and your success will follow. There it is. The blueprint to mental strength. Now the question is, are you ready to stop living on autopilot? Are you ready to take your life to the next level? Stop being distracted by the world and focus on becoming the mentally strong individual you were meant to be. You've got this, but it's time to prove it to yourself. It's time to take massive action now.